What is up, guys? Yandere Neko here, and we're now doing a review of the most recent death battle. It's a bit late, but between being a cold and a hangover from the Halloween party I went to, I feel like it's acceptable. So we're gonna go over my thoughts on the episode, likes, dislikes, where I'd rank it, all that stuff. So, for the intro, I'm just going to come out and say it. Not a fan of how they do the new intros. In seasons 1 through 7, you would have some short, like 3-4 line pitch of the matchup, basically. Then you get the names of both characters and it begins. In seasons 8 through 10, they reduce that so you get the name drop and then the sort of pitch of the matchup. But now, it's just the names of the characters, maybe a subtitle for each of them, and we're off to the races. Okay, it's a minor change, probably due to budget cuts, but it is a change I find to be for the worse of the two, Just not a fan of it. Now on to the actual analysis. For Jokers, this is definitely just because it had a code developing, but it honestly feels like a complete blur to me. I mean, they had a basic introduction on how personas and wildcards work, a legitimately funny cutaway gag about the bond system in the game. Because even though I haven't played Persona, I've played games with bond systems before, so I can relate to that stuff. Then they talked about him being like 8 million times the speed of light and Universe Buster, followed by his greatest feat of Centennial, and some short spiel about how you too can change the world, It was honestly very versus heavy, not a lot of his character and story in it, which it's unfortunate because I prefer a bit, but it is what it is. I honestly better of the two analysis in my mind. On to Giornio's analysis. Now this is where scaling matters. Now to be precise, I'm not talking about the number. Where they place the characters doesn't matter. It's what it means that's the issue here. Put another way, how the dynamic of the matchup affects the analysis and the fight. Because they place Joker so high up, a lot of Giornio's analysis have this feeling of who cares to it. Because, it's great that he's smashing cars, but you put him up against a guy that's, altering universes, It's like you're just waiting for them to get to Requiem to see if Giornio has a chance. And also, while the name trivia was cool, if I could, I'd either, one, swap it with insight on a character and backstory and story, or at the very least, if we have to just keep it strictly versus, talk about his weakness to ice, or some of his strategies, because on a rewatch of Part 5, Giornio can be kind of reckless with some strategies, Not that he needs any more reasons to lose the matchup, but here there's also the same sort of issue with Jokers, It's all versus stuff, no backstory. No character and story. Now, as to the fight, again, this is where dynamic of the matchup and so that scaling matters. Or Put another way, this raises the question that's always been controversial with Death Battle. Does animation matter? More specifically, should the animation reflect the conclusion? Because if I were to ask you, do you think both fighters should have their advantages shown? That would seem like an easy yes. Obviously, why wouldn't I? But if I were to then add that, well, what if one fighter doesn't have advantages? It gets a lot trickier. Because, obviously, you can't do some 3-second speed blitz one-shot. People wouldn't be happy about that. Nor would they be happy with like a 2 to 3 minute animation where the loser just gets countered the entire time. Unless it's like an Omni-Man Homelander situation where the stomp is the point of that matchup. Or, to get what I'm really asking here, how closely should stomps be portrayed? Because, in all honesty, despite Joker having all the advantages in the conclusion, he kind of got his ass kicked throughout the entire fight. I mean, right off the bat, his bullets are all turned into bees. Keep in mind that his gun was described as a god killer, or god slayer, one of the two. He then gets overloaded with life energy, has Ursend lose the stand persona clash, forcing him to which allows Giornio and Golden Experience to combo him, forcing Joker to escape and use Alice. Now, while the exploding teddy bears were able to overwhelm Giornio, not only is he able to escape and heal all the damage done, but he's able to turn Joker's grappling hook into a snake, forcing a damage reflection onto Joker, send all the bees back into the gun, disabling the gun, which again was described as a god killer. He is then able to reverse Ice Age with Requiem, followed by an 8-page Muda Rush, which either kills Joker or puts him near death or puts him in the death loop. I've heard numerous interpretations. At which point he's forced to use his social link Revive, and to finally win with Centennial. Which, again, enjoyable animation, I liked very much. But we can't exactly say it matches the conclusion, because the conclusion made it out as Joker horrifically stat stomps, can easily overwhelm Giornio with his sheer number of personas, and GER wouldn't even matter because his absolute attacks can bypass similar defenses. Now, onto the actual meat and bones of the fight. Well, as previously stated, I did enjoy it, and there was some absolutely beautiful hand-drawn stuff, such as Joker's trigger pull. That was just so smooth and beautiful. The 8-page Muda was another beautiful hand-drawn moment. Other hand-drawn moments I wasn't as big of a fan of. Requiem looked kind of ugly. So did the snake. But, overall the pace and flow was good, if not matching the conclusion. It was still an entertaining animation. And overall, I'd give the episode a 6, 7 out of 10. Not the best, but it's had its moments. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.